What's up, everybody? Tough loss tonight. There's so many areas that I want to go over in tonight's program. I know it's late. This will be a short podcast because I want to hit on a few points of my concern about the football team and the way they played tonight, which coincides with the same concern that Coach Prime has as well. So some of the things that I'm going to say in terms of my criticisms, and then there were some positives and some bright spots in this game of what certain players that I'm going to talk about who I believe need to be in the game more and they need the ball more. There's a couple of key areas that I'm going to hit on in tonight's program, late night program, after this horrendous loss, a loss that didn't need to happen because at some point in time in this game, they were maintaining somewhat momentum, and momentum went out the door because just as I warned in my pregame show that K-State offense is predicated on the running game, using tight ends to block. It's predicated on DJ Giddings. I said that he is a man who knows how to shred tacklers. He breaks tackles. He's elusive. He's got speed. He hits the hole very efficiently. And he is NFL caliber talent. I said this in my pregame show that there's no way that these young men could have been looking at video or film or whatever we call it and not notice how he jumps off the screen. There were so many areas in my attention, in my opinion, not my attention, but my opinion, my analysis, that tonight's game came down to not paying attention to the little details, the little wrinkles, the little things that you need to tighten up, like tackling. Making sure that you tackle a man and you wrap a man up and you don't bump tackle him. When the man, like I said before, is ranked third in the Big 12 in rushing, he's one of the best. And one of the things that CU had going for themselves in tonight's game is that they hadn't given up 100 yards to either a receiver or even a running back in this case. Well, tonight, they lost. They gave up both 100 yards receiving to Jay Brown, the receiver, Jace Brown. They gave him 121 yards receiving, 2 TDs. And then when it came to the running game, they gave up to DJ Giddings. They gave him 182 yards on the ground rushing. He got no touchdowns, but he had 25 carries. While our running backs, these are the things that I've been concerned about. I said it clearly in my first video. If they stay focused and continue to do what works fundamentally, they could have beat this team tonight. But it was the little things that they did not do in this game that hurt them. When you look at my man Hayden only had 7 carries for 11 yards. His longest run was 3 yards. I'm sorry. CU got away from the running game, which was working for them, which is why they beat UCF. They got away from the running game. Then they brought in my man Isaiah Augustive, number 23. They brought him in. He only had 3 carries for 10 yards and only 4 yards is his longest run. So you had two of your running backs. One that I think they feel should be their starting running back, but to me, I'm going to say it again. Michael Welsh, to me, is the every down running back on this team. I don't know why he didn't get any carries tonight. because CU got away from the running game. By having the running game, you control time of possession. You keep their quarterback off the field. You keep their running back off the field, who was shredding through the defense in terms of shredding people's tackles. Tackling was poor. It was lousy at best. And you cannot win games against good teams like K-State, who's one of the team's favorite to make a bowl game. They were ranked 18. They didn't come in here ranked 18 for nothing. And the tackling was poor. It's the little things. It's the paying attention to details, which is when I tackle, I should wrap guys up. Maybe we should give our running backs more carries. Four carries, 3 carries is not going to get it to win games against teams like this in the Big 12. I mean, 7 carries for Hayden, only 3 carries for Isaiah, and no carries whatsoever for Michael Welsh, who has proven to you that in every game that he's played that he's capable of breaking big runs. And just like DJ Giddings, you've got a young freshman running back in Michael Welsh who has ability to make people miss him or shred blocks or tackle, should I say, himself. Why didn't Michael Welsh get any playing down? Now, is he hurt? Forgive me if I might have missed something. Is Michael Welsh hurt? Was he hurt tonight? Maybe I missed that report. Where did that report come from? Did he get hurt? Or was it that they just didn't get him in the game because once they got behind, and the thing that's crazy is about they weren't behind by 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns. For most of this game, the game was tied 7-7. Then K-State went up 14-7. And for most of the game, it was 14-7. So it wasn't as if CU was being blown out to the point that they had to abandon the run. That's why they're in this. This is one of the reasons why they were in this situation tonight, amongst many other areas that I want to touch on tonight. All right, when you look at time of possession, because they got away from the run, and K-State was able to implement their run with DJ Giddings. And I got to give him credit. The man was dynamic tonight. The man showed you why he's an NFL prospect. This man was running all over the place, making plays. He was elusive. And for some reason, it wasn't just one guy that couldn't tackle him. It seemed like nobody could tackle him. And once they got their hands on him, he was still able to get yardage, get more yak, which is what he was known for coming into this game. And this is why you have to study film. You have to watch film. You have to understand what is the strengths and weaknesses of a team that you're playing against. What are the skill set of a guy? You can't bump tackle a guy like Giddings. You got to wrap him up. There was so many things tonight that was a failure of paying attention, in my opinion, to the details. Coach Prime will back up what I'm saying to you tonight with some of the things he's going to say from the press conference tonight, and I've clipped a clip of the press conference to let you hear what he had to say. I thank everybody who's coming into the chat room tonight. Thank you for being here. Shirley, I see you're here. Pretty Minnie, I see you here saying hello. Gutter Rat Productions in here. Thank you for coming over, saying that seems like we didn't have a good balance of offense. Shiloh played horrendous. And I'm going to talk about Shiloh because I think, look, I have a lot of respect for Coach Prime. I appreciate Coach Prime. I appreciate what he's doing at CU and how he's going about his business. But I think Coach Prime, in this case, as the coaching staff and Coach Prime, I think they made a mistake putting Shiloh in the game when Shiloh hasn't played a game since they played Nebraska in the beginning of the season, in which he got knocked out early. He got hurt, not knocked out, but he got hurt, breaking his forearm, tackling a player from Nebraska. And since then, he's been out since that game. He didn't play in the game against UCF. Shiloh has been out, so he's rusty. He's not in playing. You could be out hurt, and then you could try to condition yourself, but it doesn't mean that you're in football shape. And I understand, Coach Prime wants to get Shiloh out there because Shiloh is an intimidator. He's an enforcer. But tonight, Shiloh was a shadow of himself tonight. He did not play well. He did not look good. Even though let's look at his stats here. Shiloh tonight, when it came to defense, defensively, Shiloh Sanders, he recorded 7 tackles, 6 solos, and that's it. Yes, he did make some tackles tonight. He did make tackles. But when it came time to make the big stops that were necessary, when it came to DJ Giddings, there were times when I would say Shiloh took some bad angles. There were times when I think there was one play where he hit DJ Giddings with his shoulder, right? He kind of popped him with the shoulder. And I kept saying to myself while I was watching the game, why didn't he wrap tackle him? Why didn't he wrap him up? And I noticed that Shiloh has a habit of trying to bump tackle people instead of wrapping people up. And I've seen him in other games, going all the way back to last season, where there were times when he missed tackles or he didn't bring a guy down because he was trying to power tackle him, meaning he was trying to bump him with his shoulder pads, manly type stuff. But it doesn't work sometimes with every running back because some of these guys are strong, they're physical, and they've got power in their legs, and they'll just run through your blocks. And that's exactly what happened when it came to DJ Giddings. And I just don't think Shiloh should have been starting this whole game tonight. I don't know. I think this is the mistake that Coach Prime and the coaches made. This is where the mistake goes, right here. And I believe in telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
And being honest. This is just a critique, a football critique, which is you had a man that was playing. He was playing hot. He had a hot hand. And I've been saying this. Why take away a hot hand when you got a guy that's playing hot? And then you take him out the game like you did Stoudemire. Coach Prime said that he would use them in packages. I did a pregame show. I was actually excited about Shiloh Sanders coming back. I was very excited about him coming back after being injured. But then when you really when you get away from the emotions of it all and you sit back and you look at how he played tonight, it was obvious that he was rusty. His timing was off. He took bad angles in the game when it came to tackling, and it obviously did have an effect and an impact on the way the team played defensively. The defensive tackles, inside defense, the defensive line did not hold their lanes like they did against UCF. And I said in my pregame show that Kansas State under Coach Chris, they pride themselves on running the ball. They pride themselves on executing. They use a lot of tight ends in blocking. The receivers in their offense must block in unison. And I just think they got the better of us offensively when it came to blocking and opening up holes. Every time DJ got the ball, they ran him, the holes were just opening up for him, and Giddings was able to hit through those holes with no problem. I'm going to be honest. I think we did a great job against their quarterback, Avery Johnson. He made a few plays here and there. He did put up some numbers. Unfortunately, Avery Johnson went 15 to 23 for 224 yards. He got 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. I think overall, considering how we played, we didn't play great. I think there were times when we gave Avery Johnson some problems. There were times when we did get him we gave him some problems. There were times when we got to him and we made some sacks on him, right? So when you look at the key part of the game tonight when it came to sacks, B.J. Green in the third quarter got a sack on him. Okay, in the first quarter, B.J. Green got a sack on Avery Johnson in the first quarter, which was great for our momentum. And then in the third quarter, he got another sack on him, which was also great. But early on in the game, you had McCoy, the young player McCoy, who came in and got one sack on Avery Johnson. Okay, so overall tonight, and then you had Cameron Seaman Craig, who came in and he recorded a sack. So overall, it looks like we got our hands on this man 4 times. I think they sacked him between 4 and 5 times tonight in terms of getting pressure on K-State's quarterback. But unfortunately, we also gave up 5 sacks tonight where Shiloh Sanders got sacked. So there was a lot of things that happened tonight that were undesirable, in the fact that it goes back to my theme tonight, which is you must pay attention to the little details. If you don't pay attention to the details, you're going to lose games like this. And the biggest details is fundamentally tackling. Tackle, tackle, tackle. If they just would have tackled a little bit better tonight, maybe they could have turned some things around. Near the end of the game, they made a rally, and we saw a key play in the 2 key plays in the fourth quarter tonight that could have actually changed the fate of this game for CU if it had not been for little things here and there. The details again. Colton Hood finally showed what he could do, because you had a lot of guys that were getting hurt tonight. You had a lot of players for Kansas State that were falling on the floor. I thought a lot of that was suspect tonight. I don't know, how do you feel about that tonight? I thought a lot of times these guys were falling down all of a sudden, and I thought it almost seemed like they were doing it purposefully to slow down the momentum of CU. I don't know. It was just something was weird about it. You didn't see them falling down like this when they were in the lead, when they had more control of the game. But as soon as CU appeared to be getting more momentum and control of the game and moving the ball methodically down the field, all of a sudden, all of K-State's players just kept falling and flopping. It was almost like watching a soccer game or an NBA game where guys are flopping. There's something that was suspect about that tonight, and you heard the crowd at Folsom Field booing it because they could see that something just didn't look kosher. Not this, I mean, of course, players get hurt. Our guys were getting hurt, but there was something that was really shady about this game tonight. And I thought the refereeing, the officiating, was horrible tonight. I mean, damn right horrible. Cameron Craig, number 7, he got a sack in the second quarter, which was good for us. But the key play was Colton Hood's interception in the fourth quarter. And really tripped me out is that when he was running the ball and he started slowing, he was losing his footing. I was like, oh my God. I just knew he was going to get in there and make the touchdown. But everything was weird tonight. I think the turf out there on the turf itself was bad. The field conditions, I don't know what's going on with the turf and with Folsom Field's turf, but the turf was not great tonight. I don't know if that's why I said pay attention to the details. There was a lot of things that were going on in that game that just didn't smell right, didn't seem right. Jimmy Horn was out hurt. I don't know what's going on with Jimmy Horn. It seems like Jimmy Horn has not been the same since the first game of the season when he almost caught 200 yards. And I kept saying early in the season, if Jimmy Horn can continue his production, it would take so much pressure off the other receivers, particularly at Travis Hunter. But he got hurt, unfortunately. I hope he's okay. But he never really made an impact in the game because he didn't play in the game. I guess at some point he just wasn't he wasn't able to perform. Unfortunately, Travis Hunter. Oh man, Travis Hunter made some plays tonight. On one play, he took a hit and looked like when he landed, he hit on his shoulder. So there was reports that Travis Hunter's had a right shoulder injury, and he came out to support his team. I thought when he came out that they were going to put him in the game, and no, it was very clear that he was not going to play. That Coach Prime was looking after his better benefit and saying, let's let this young man be healed. Let's let him be healthy. Let's let him rest because we got so much more of the season to go. And just imagine if Travis Hunter was able to play the rest of this game. God knows if he could have made the difference down the stretch as well. Because, again, the two key plays in the fourth quarter was the interception by Colton Hood. One interception. Damn near took it down to the house there. Damn near ran it into the end zone. And then then after that play, then you have the play of LaJohntay Wester. Let's give him a clap. Now, LaJohntay had, in the beginning of the game in the first quarter, LaJohntay had a great play where he caught a ball for a touchdown for 25 yards as his longest catch and run for a touchdown in the first quarter. Then he showed up and showed out again at a time that we need him to show up and show out again. He shows up and shows out again and scores another touchdown in the fourth quarter, which I thought at that time CU was up at that time. They were up 28. What was it? 28 to 24. Looked like, hey, maybe they could close this game out, win another close game like they did before, that they could pull out another big game, another big victory under the pressure of the you got to make it happen right now. And unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for the receiving game. Let me tell you what his numbers are right now when it came to receiving tonight. LaJohntay had 5 catches for 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest catch was for 25 yards, as I had mentioned before. So the man showed up and came to play, made some plays, but they were just, nothing seemed to be really, it just wasn't enough. I just can't put my finger on what was going on with this team tonight. And the tackling was poor. I got to be honest. Shedeur, I think in this game, he held on to the ball too damn long. And I know this has been a criticism of Shedeur, where people have said this before, that he holds on to the ball maybe too long. Because there were times during the game when Shedeur, in my opinion, my humble opinion, should have gotten rid of the ball. There were times tonight where he was throwing the ball when there was nobody there to throw the ball to, and then they kept getting penalties that were bringing the team back. And I know when he was doing that, he was trying to get rid of the ball, but he was getting rid of the ball when there was nobody in the general area. Then there were times when he would try to, I think because Shedeur tries to make something when nothing is there, and he has proven that he can make big plays when nothing is there. But I think tonight it caught up with him in this game where a lot of times there wasn't anything there, and it would have been good if he could have gotten rid of the ball in a way that would not have hurt them in terms of them getting a penalty where they get moved back behind the chains. And I think that really hurt them several times tonight along the course of this game. But I think Shiloh Sanders should have been brought along very slowly. I think when Coach Prime was talking about putting Stottlemyre and Carter Stoudemire in packages, I think it should have been a reverse. I think because Shedeur had been out for so long and he was clearly rusty, I think Shiloh, not Shedeur, but Shiloh Sanders is the one that should have been put in different packages just to kind of ease him into the game very slowly and get him some reps, get him some confidence again, get him used to actual play. Because to me, Stoudemire has been playing very well since Shiloh's been gone. And to me, this is the man that should have started, and Shiloh Sanders should have came in on different packages for him, because I think because Stoudemire has been playing and playing well and has had confidence, you kind of disrupt that when you bring in a guy, in this case, Coach Prime's son. When you bring in a young man who actually hasn't really played much since his injury. And to think that he was going to come back and be 100% when you already had a man in Stoudemire who was 100%, I just think that in this case, it was not a good decision, because there was a lot of the angles and the effectiveness of DJ tonight. You could see that there were times, once again, when Shiloh did not make good tackle decisions or good angles in his pursuit. And if you just bring him along slowly, maybe he can get the breath under him and he can start playing at the level that he was playing at before his injury. So I think that severely hurt us tonight. I'm here to give you an honest report. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat anything. It's just the facts. Shedeur was sacked 5 times. That's not good. The offensive line tonight did not play well. Another failure is that, once again, I'm going to say it again, they got away from the run. Had they stick with the run, they could have controlled a lot more in this game. I mean, let me put this back up here. When you look at the time of possession, okay, K-State got 423 yards, total yards. Colorado had 359 total yards. But the time of possession, if you look at the bottom of this chart, is the most glaring thing, because K-State had 33 minutes and 46 seconds of time of possession, while CU only had 25 minutes of time of possession. So it's obvious that because K-State was running the ball and running the ball effectively, they were not a one-dimensional team, and they were able to control the clock and therefore keep Deion Sanders and the offense off the field. That really hurt them tonight. Will Shepherd came in. For the most part, Will played well. He made some plays down the stretch. Of course, there was a play that he would have liked back. Remember the one play where he was damn near could have been right in the end, could have ran the ball right into the end zone, and he dropped the ball, but he redeemed himself with a touch. He redeemed himself after that play with a touchdown in the third quarter, catching a big play for us in that third quarter. That's Will Shepherd. So I give him some kudos for what he did under the circumstances. But Jimmy Horn, there was a report. I'm going to say this again. There was a report that Jimmy Horn was injured tonight. He was hurt, didn't play a lot. But Jimmy Horn, again, in my critique, whatever the mojo he had coming out of that first game in the season, he's just hasn't been able to get back to that mojo. And I don't know what it could be. Is it the way teams are playing him because they know that he's a key receiver for CU? I don't know what it is, but hopefully he can break out of whatever that funk is when he is healthy enough to play, because they said that he was hurt. Folks, if you agree with my analysis so far, where I'm coming from, put sevens in the chat room. Put your own opinions in there. Let's say James Hunter said no other team could lose 5 wide receivers in a game and still not skip a beat. CU has best wide receiver room in the country, period. Yeah, they do have the best wide receiver room, but the problem, James Hunter, is that their receiving core, and I said it the other night, is the best. I still don't think that Kansas State has faced a receiving core like they did tonight. The problem is that when you look at the fact that they could have almost won this game, just think if they would have ran the ball a little bit more. If they could have gotten their running game off the ground, really got some rhythm with the running game, I think they could have won this game tonight if they would have been able to run the ball better. And I'm going to say this again. They didn't need to get away from the run tonight. They weren't being beat by 3 and 4 touchdowns. For the most hunk of this game was a tied game, and this game was a game in which Kansas State was only leading by 14-7. Then they went up 20. What was it? They went up 21 or they went up 21. They got a field goal kick that made it 24. The problem with CU that because they did not run the ball effectively or did not run the ball enough, they weren't able to move the ball down the field, get some time of possession, and maybe get themselves in a situation that if they couldn't get the touchdown, they could have gotten a decent field goal kick or two in this game had they employed more of that running game. And if they would have employed the running game a little bit more than what they did tonight by giving these guys more carries, there's a chance that the passing game would have opened up even more for Shiloh Sanders than what it already had. You see? So there's a whole lot to look at in what happened tonight in this game. Another young man who I'm going to say, everybody, I think these young players on these teams, these freshmen like the Michael Welch, who Michael Welch didn't get no carries tonight. Okay. Now, is he hurt? Is something going on? Why is it that Michael Welch didn't get in the game tonight? Can someone leave a message about that in the chat room? But a player that I think needs to have the ball, and I've been saying that he's explosive, and far as I'm concerned, he needs to have the ball in his hand more often. They need to make more packages for him because this young man came in when guys got hurt, when Jimmy Horn was out, when Travis, let's just be honest here, Jimmy Horn was out. Travis Hunter was out. That could have really helped us if he could have played throughout the game healthy. No telling what could have happened with him in the game, but Jimmy Horn and him were out. Guys were getting hurt. And a man that stepped up, in my opinion, who needs to get a lot of respect here is the young receiver, Amarion Miller.
Tell the truth.
Amarion Miller, in my estimate, showed greatness tonight. Now, he left the game hurt tonight. Appears that he has an ankle. It looked like his ankles, he might have had an ankle spring or something. I saw when he came down on the replay, looked like his ankles got, kind of impacted tonight because he could not walk on his own strength tonight without them walking him off the field with assistance. But Amarion Miller, ladies and gentlemen, had 8 receptions for 145 yards. 51 yards was his longest catch, which was the catch in which he got hurt, and then they had to walk him off the field. Can you imagine if he hadn't gotten hurt either? When they got the ball back and they were going in their stretch run, maybe he could have made a big play to win. But tonight he got 145 yards. Let's give him a clap for that. I'm going to say it again. Amarion Miller needs to be on the damn field playing. I think Coach Prime is going to have to make some tough decisions. If guys are not producing, if there's players that are not giving you production consistently, then get some of these young guys in here. Excuse me. Get some of the young guys out there on the field and let's see what they can do. Tonight we saw that Amarion Miller can put up big numbers. 8 catches for 145 yards. He put up 145 yards within a short period of time. Be it was because they were trying to come back from being down. So of course they were throwing the ball, and but the reality is he still caught the ball and made the plays. So to me, when they play their next game, Coach Prime and the coaches, when they sit down, they need to get this kid in the game more than what he's been in the game as of right now. As I said again, B.J. Green showed up and showed out. He got 2 sacks tonight. I did not hear Shadozi's name being called much tonight. I think the defense of the interior part of our defense struggled tonight because if they weren't struggling, there's no way that DJ Giddings could do what he did to us tonight. There's no way that this man could have run the ball for 182 yards on 25 carries. If our defensive line, particularly in the trenches of that defensive line, were having a great game. I think they struggled tonight. It all goes hand in hand. Our secondary, we got my man right here, DJ McKinney. A secondary, the cornerbacks did the best they could tonight. They did what they were trying to do tonight. But when you got a man that's running all over you and they're controlling the clock and time of possession and controlling the tempo of the game, it's very hard. I thought that CU would have all the advantages being at home and having a defense that's been pretty stout against the run in the last few games in terms of their ability to really. And tonight there were times when you did see CU's defense flying around and making some plays here and there. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I'm sure Coach Prime, they're going to look at the film. They're going to go back and critique what they did wrong. But it just wasn't enough. Tonight, let's look at some defensive numbers right here. Nakai Green-Hill, who I want to talk about, who actually has been pretty consistent as a linebacker for CU. Nakai Hill Green, number 41, had 10 tackles, 9 solo tackles. DJ McKinney, let's talk about DJ. I had put him up here, but let's put him up here right here. DJ had 8 tackles and 8 solo tackles. Craig doing his thing as usual, everybody. Craig had 7 tackles, 6 solos, and 1 sack tonight. Let's give him a clap again for that. So he did what was necessary. Again, B.J. Green, everybody, had 4 tackles, 4 solo tackles, and he had 2 sacks tonight, which was great. Give him a clap on that. Number 40, McCoy, young player, he had 1 sack to start it off in the early going of the game. Tonight was just a very difficult night. And this is the thing. They didn't get blown out. They didn't get embarrassed because they lost 28-31. So CU could have very well won this game tonight. They could have very well upset K-State. They could have very well won this game the way they've done other games at the last minute in the fourth quarter, shocking everybody, shocking the world. They could have very well. They didn't get blown out. But because they didn't pay, because it appeared that they didn't pay attention to the little details, because of those little details or lack of the little details, they lost the game. And had those little details had been more paid attention to in this game in terms of, one, tackle. You got to tackle people. Tackle, tackle, tackle. Wrap guys up. Get your arms around them. Understanding your spacing, your angles that you're taking. Making sure that you play the guys who have the hot hand and guys that are coming off of injury, maybe work them into the game plan slowly. I'm sorry, Shiloh Sanders should have been worked into the game plan tonight slowly. I'm going to say it again, he took too many bad angles. He got 7 tackles tonight, but he also missed a lot of tackles tonight. That was very obvious and glaring when it came to DJ Giddings running all over CU tonight. And you got to do the fundamentals, which is tackle. Get a guy down, wrap his legs up. Make something happen. Another young man was you have Amarion Miller, and then you have Miller, number 6. He made a couple of plays tonight, number 6 tonight, catching the ball. He didn't put up any big numbers. But I thought that it was good to see him out there doing his thing and trying to make things happen. Let me see. Jimmy Horn had 3 catches for 20 yards, 12 yards being his longest run, but he was not able to complete the rest of the game. Miller, number 6, had 5 receptions, everybody. 5 receptions, for 27 yards. 17 yards was his longest catch tonight. That's a picture of him up there. Young man who stepped up tonight as well. Give him a clap. Young man that stepped up tonight. Give him a clap. I appreciate you all being here in this late night. I thought about doing this stream earlier in the day, tomorrow or today, but I said, let's go ahead and do it tonight. Let's go through this. This was a tough game. This is a tough game in the way they lost because it's a game that they should have won, a game that they could have won, and just the little things caught up with CU in this game. For the sake of time, let's go over and listen to Coach Prime and what he had to say about tonight's game. I think our linebacker Bentley, a lot of our key guys defensively didn't make a lot of noise tonight, right? We didn't hear a lot from Bentley tonight, right? We didn't really hear a lot from even Hill Green. Very quiet night. This young man right here, McNeil, number 88, didn't hear a lot from him tonight. I mean, I didn't, in terms of big plays being made, this was a very difficult night for our team. And guess what? We're going to bounce back from this. Guess what? Another man I want to see out there is Chainsaw. Johnny, we got the man Chainsaw who came over from the Florida Raptors. I want to see him. I want to hear his name more. I want to know but I think we'll learn from this situation. Our secondary will get better from this situation. There's no doubt in my mind that they'll get better from this situation, just like they did when they lost to Nebraska. Now, Nebraska was this was no beating. They didn't get blown out like they did against Nebraska. This was a competitive game. They were in the game to the end. They came up short, and I think that if they hadn't come up short, they could have won this game. LaJohntay Wester, we got to give him all the credit too tonight. Again, did a great job making plays when we need him to make plays. So he did an interesting job tonight in that regard. Everybody, I thank you for coming over. Let's listen to Coach Prime, the press conference. And you're going to hear Coach Prime say some things that that reinforces what I'm saying right now, that he saw the same thing as a coach. You know, let's go at it, and let's hear what Coach Prime had to say in his press conference. So let's go down to the studio, to the reaction studio, and see what Coach Prime has to say. Okay? My throat's bothering me, folks, so I'm sorry. Kind of a little itchy. Let's go ahead and hear what he had to say. This battle between K-State and Colorado. I'm going to say it again. Hayden's got to get more carries. You got to put the ball in his hand more. Isaiah, Gustav, you got to put the ball in his hands more. These guys need carries. And I don't know why, unless someone can tell me in the chat room, why is it that Michael Welsh didn't play tonight? Was he out hurt? Or did they get fully out of their game plan to run the ball? That at that point they were not going to run the ball. They got away from the run. They did not stick to the running game tonight. That really bothered me a lot, because I saw how it impacted the team at the end of the day, how they could have won this game. They could have gotten the ball, ran the ball, got more time possession, controlled the game more, but they got away from the damn run. You got to give guys more carries than 3 and 5 and 6 carries. It's not gonna cut it. Let's hear Coach Prime. Here we go. This is fair use with the purpose of educating, parody, news reporting, and what have you. Here we go, everybody.
We just came up on the short end of it.
Coach Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. I've got two for you. First, it looked like Travis was back on the sidelines. He had his helmet.
Yeah.
Was there any discussion about him coming back in the game?
Not whatsoever. He was just there to support his team, and he did a good job at it.
And second, the tackling seemed like a big issue tonight, especially at the second level. How much of that was you guys, and how much of it was DJ Giddens at running back?
DJ Giddens is a great running back, but I really think that it was poor tackling on CU's part tonight, period.
He's phenomenal. He's one of the best in the country. I mean, his maneuverability is unbelievable. We didn't tackle well today whatsoever. We didn't get to the ball as a unit today whatsoever. We had some bust in a few things. I'm telling you, I hear the calls. Coach called a pretty darn good game. He called a really good game, and we just got to execute the calls.
Coach, obviously losing is frustrating.
Right.
That's the most frustrating part. What would you?
Did you hear what he said? That they did not tackle prop. Let's hear that again. Let's emphasize this tonight before I end this podcast.
Whatsoever. We had some bust in a few things. I'm telling you, I hear the calls. Coach called a pretty darn good game. He called a really good game, and we just got to execute the calls.
Coach,
I agree, Coach, but you do got to execute by tackling. Tackling was a big problem tonight.
Obviously losing is frustrating.
Right.
That's the most frustrating part. But if you were to break it down, what would you say you were most disappointed with on the way to the
big
loss?
plays and giving up, surrendering 224 yards rushing. That, come on, that's it, because that's clock as well. That keeps our offense off the field, and then they mean opportunities. We need opportunities.
Obviously, you'd rather learn from a win. You're going to have to learn from a loss.
Right.
Do you take some solace in the resiliency your team showed? I mean, you're down 10 there late.
I'm
You
proud
battled
of
back.
them, man. I'm always proud of them. I mean, you guys know this is, and you wonderful women, this is a totally different team. This team has heart. They have integrity. They're tough.
Now, I agree with Coach Prime that despite the poor tackling tonight and all the things that I've been talking about tonight, he's right. This team does have resilience. Last year's team would have definitely given up. Last year's team would have definitely probably lost by more points than this. So in the end, they were down. They came back in the game. They ultimately took the lead 28-24. they were not able to make a few stops against K-State going down the stretch, where K-State was ultimately able to score and take control of the game. So you got to give them kudos because they lost 31-28. They didn't get blown out. So despite the injuries, the guys being hurt, despite some of the issues with tackling, despite all these sort of adversity that they went through tonight in Folsom Field, they still had character, they still had heart, and they showed that they weren't going to just lay down, even when things did not seem to be going well. So Coach Prime is right about that.
Love to play this game. We just came up short. We got to just learn how to win these particular games. We've done so this year as well, but that was one that we should have got it. Play here and there. Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Scott Proctor, Colorado. How you doing?
Good, sir.
Seemed like the running game had kind of got going the last two games. It was a bit ineffective tonight. From your vantage point, what do you think kind of led to the ineffectiveness in that part of the
We didn't
offense
execute.
tonight?
We didn't execute. I mean, the play calls are there.
Okay, everybody, I want to say something. Coach Prime said that the running game was not great because they didn't execute. But I just got to ask this question. This is an honest question, because let me put the numbers up here again. I don't know. I'm going to ask you all this question. I kind of disagree a little bit. I don't know if it was because they didn't execute the running game or if it was because they got away from the running game. Here's the evidence right here. Right here. Boom. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is the evidence. Hayden had 7 carries for 11 yards. Isaiah Avestif only got 3 carries. Shador ran the ball himself for 50 yards. I think he got minus 50 yards. How can the running game, this is just an honest question, how can the running game not be effective? Or no. How is it that the running game was not effective because they didn't execute when you only gave Hayden 7 carries and you gave Isaiah only 3 carries? To me, that's not a large enough sample size to me to say that the running game was not effective when it seems like to me, Coach Prime, and I say this respectfully, though, brother, to you, if you get away from the running game and you don't run the ball and you've only given your main running back 7 carries and you give the next running back only 3 carries and that's it for the rest of the game, then the question I asked to everybody in the chat room, is that truly based on not executing? Or maybe you didn't give the running backs enough carries so that you can get a sample size of whether it was that you couldn't run the ball, or was it just that you got away from the run because you felt you could be more effective throwing the ball because at some point in time in the game you got down by a touchdown or so? I don't know. I just think that the running game was not effective because, in my opinion, CU, or it appeared to me that CU got away from the running game. Not because, and it wasn't because K-State was stopping our run. Yes, there was a couple of plays where Hayden didn't get big yardage, but you can't say that they dominated our running game if you didn't give your players more carries than that. If you agree with my analysis, everybody, put 7s in the chat room, because I want to use some common sense here. They did not run the ball enough because they did not call enough running plays. And they did, and the thing about it is, I'm going to say it again, they didn't have to get away from the run because it wasn't like K-State was blowing CU out by 3 and 4 touchdowns. They were only winning this game by 1 touchdown for majority of the game. up to a certain point where they went up and got 21 points and got kicked a field goal for 24 points. I think they got away from the run. All due to respect to what Coach Prime is saying here. Let's hit on.
We didn't execute. We missed a block here. We missed this there. We missed this there. We just didn't execute.
Okay. So Coach Prime is saying they missed a block here. They missed a block there. They didn't execute. I get it. I get what you're saying there, sir. But you still can't just run the ball. You can't give your running backs the ball only 10 times between Hayden and Isaiah to be able to say, hey, we can't run the ball. Maybe something could have happened in the second half of the game where maybe the running game could have got going. You just never saw CU dedicate themselves to the running game tonight. And I think that part of that is what hurt them dearly tonight. Amongst the mistakes that were made on defense with the poor tackling.
Play calling was definitely suffice. We didn't execute it, and I believe we surrendered 6 sacks to their 4, which, in comparison, it wasn't bad. And Shador got to get the ball out of their time.
Well, actually, Shador got sacked 5 times tonight, but and then they got to their quarterback quite a bit as well. Let's continue here, Coach Prime.
But we're better than that. We're better collectively than what we showed tonight.
Yes, you are, Coach. You are.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwantz, DMVR.
Pleasure.
Just wanted to ask you about Shiloh, just what you thought about his play tonight.
I thought he played horrible. I thought he was rusty. I thought he didn't have his footing. I thought he wasn't breaking down. He was coming up trying to make the play, but open field one-on-one tackle with that kind of back is that ain't an easy task.
Let me stop it right there. Everything that I said, Coach Prime agrees with everything that I just said. He was horrible. Shiloh Sanders played bad. He took bad angles, didn't tackle well consistently throughout the night when it came to going up against DJ tonight, the running back for K-State. Did not play well against this man. This guy is a NFL caliber running back. He's got that wiggle ability. He's quick. He's fast. He hits the hole. He breaks tackles. He's a monster. And Coach Prime admitted it that Shiloh Sanders was horrible tonight, unfortunately. And Coach Prime, maybe you are regretting putting him in the full game, and you're saying to yourself, maybe I should have went with Carter Stoudemire, who's been playing all the other games, who's coming into this game maybe with more confidence and in better shape, not coming off on an injury. Let you hear this again about Shiloh again. This is from Coach Prime. I'm saying it, but Coach Prime is reinforcing what I believe to be true as well.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwantz, DMVR.
Pleasure.
Just wanted to ask you about Shiloh, just what you thought about his play tonight.
I thought he played horrible. I thought he was rusty. I thought he didn't have his footing. I thought he wasn't breaking down. He was coming up trying to make the play, but open field one-on-one tackle with that kind of back is that ain't an easy task. But he's going to do better. I know what he has in him.
Right. I agree that Shiloh Sanders is capable of playing better than this. But once again, when you have a guy that's coming off an injury, like a forearm injury, and he hasn't played in some time, he's not in game shape. So you ease him into the game with packages here and there. The guys that have been playing every week that are in game shape, like a Stoudemire, you let those guys continue playing. You let Stoudemire continue to grow, because you need everything that Stoudemire is doing this season is going to pay dividends for next season, because he's still a young player. And you know that at some point in time, as he's getting better, you are going to get Shiloh back into the game and back into the groove. And I wonder It's just my opinion, everybody. I just wonder if they would have let Stoudemire play the majority of the game and maybe did some packages for Shiloh here and there. I wonder if you would have got better play by Carter tonight, who had been playing every game every week, and it was in game. He's been in game shape. These are just obvious questions that one must ask. If you are agreeing or understanding where I'm coming from with this premise, this analysis, put sevens in the chat room. I would appreciate that. Let's go back to Coach Prime.
Coach Prime, Alex Ramirez, My Life Sports
How you
Radio.
doing, sir?
When Jimmy Horn and Travis went down in the second quarter, you mentioned that everybody else stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. You guys were still in the game. I mean, it shows resilience on your team, right?
True. Shows tremendous resilience. It shows you depth. It shows you the recruiting has been successful in the depth of that position. It shows that Pat did a wonderful job. He didn't change, the distribution of the ball and the play calling. We still had a couple big-time guys out there that could make plays. Who else? 82. He got injured, too. I'm just thinking about that. Tim.
Right. You had number 6, Miller. You had number 4. I'm going to say I had already mentioned these guys before, but you had let's mention them again. You had number 6, Miller, who I thought is a young freshman player, a young player who's going to be going to pay some. I think him. This is the future that we're looking at, everybody. What you see on the screen right now is D. Miller, the young man who's a freshman, number 6. I think him and Amarion Miller are a dangerous combination. These are 2 young receivers, big, strong. Amarion Miller, prior to getting hurt tonight with that 50-some yard catch he made, he was doing the damn thing out there. Okay? So the future looks really great when you got those 2 young guys that are coming back. Hopefully nobody, jumps into the portal or something, but the future looks good for this football team when you see the young freshmen and sophomore get out there and make plays, because you got the more veteran or the seniors like a Jimmy Horn or Travis Hunter that are out hurt. Jimmy Horn's out hurt. I don't know exactly what his injury is. I'm definitely going to be looking into that, I guess, as much as you all will be as well, to know what his status is for the following week, because we definitely want Jimmy Horn to play. But Jimmy Horn also is going to have to, as well, get himself back into the groove of making plays. I don't know how bad his injury is, if it's an injury that's going to keep him out. One of the other injury I'm concerned about is Travis Hunter. He took a pretty hard fall on the ground when he was tackled in the last play he had on the ground to the shoulder. So what is the damage to the shoulder? Is the shoulder going to be a day-to-day? Would he be able to play next week after getting treatment? Is there something broken in there? It's so much we don't know. And hopefully Coach Prime, when he does his press conference on Tuesday, he'll let us know what is the status of these guys. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that's here tonight, watching, listening to the channel tonight. I appreciate that. What I would like to do is say thank you for watching. Again, like and comment on this video when you get a chance. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification when you get an opportunity. I appreciate that. Now, everybody, let's go back to Coach Prime and hear what he has to say. This is a tough loss, everybody, because they could have very well won this game. They could have very well made another one of those miracle comebacks, and it would have been something to see. But let's hear the rest of Coach Prime.
Yeah, Daryl Timmons, he got hurt too. So let's not forget, because he went down. That's why we had some of the
We had a lot of guys hurt tonight,
later in
unfortunately.
the game. But I'm praying for him as well. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know what happened with him as well.
Jack Harlow with Buffalo's Wire.
My man.
With potentially a few injuries in the wide receivers room, just how confident are you in some of the guys, second and third on the depth chart to step up?
We're deep, man. I mean, that room is deep. Those guys step up tremendously, and we have freshmen that's able to step up. And Draylon did a wonderful
Just like
job.
I said.
Did a wonderful job of coming in there and making plays. So I'm happy with who they are, what they are, and how they work. They do a tremendous job of working in practice. They have leadership by LeJounte. He's probably their vocal leader in there, but we're deep in that position.
Hey, Coach Palm, how you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Good, sir. Mike Lamonte, I-65 Radio. Cordell, how soon is he looking to come back?
I think he's healthy. Yeah, he just gotta do his thing. Yeah, he's gotta do his thing.
Any other questions?
That it.
Hey, Coach, just real
Are there
quick,
any more questions?
Positive note, B.J. Green gets his first couple sacks as a Buff. And can you talk about just his performance tonight and just you guys getting to
Well,
Andrew
I haven't
Johnson?
watched the film, so I don't really know how they performed, but he had a couple sacks which came at crucial times.
Right. So B.J. Green, I'm gonna repeat this again. B.J. Green had a sack in the first quarter, and then he followed up with a sack in the third quarter. I think he got 4 tackles tonight. B.J. Green made some key plays in the game. Overall, this is a game that they could have won, should have won, and just little small things caught up with them tonight. The small little details that I think really is the reason why they did not pull it all out.
I don't know how many tackles he had, but I didn't get that far. I was just looking at. I got to watch film to see who really did what and how they did. So.
So when I look at the stats once again, I'm correct. He got 4 tackles, 4 solo tackles, 2 sacks. And so B.J. Green did his thing tonight. He showed up, showed out, and did his thing. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough overall as a complete team to outpace and outplay when I say outplay, win the game down the stretch when it all counts. And they could have. And that's why they only lost the game 31-28, which I think speaks to, once again, the character of the football team. And then all they have to do is just clean up a few other things that they were having problems with. And once they do that, they'll be just fine. Let's go ahead and look at their next opponent for next week as I get ready to end this podcast very soon. I'm gonna read some of your statements in the chat room before I end the show tonight. So just bear with me. Give me one moment. I want to look at their opponent for next week, and here is their schedule. So they lost to Kansas State. Damn it. I just feel that they could have beat this team tonight. They're playing Arizona. Arizona took a really bad loss today to BYU. BYU beat Arizona. CU is going to have to go to Arizona and play this game. This is a game that they're capable of winning because Arizona is down from that loss. I'm sure that loss has impacted them a little bit, just like this loss will impact CU in terms of trying to adjust what they did wrong to be right for next week. But the matchup is against Arizona at Arizona next week. So we'll see how this all plays out. Can CU beat Arizona? Yes, they can. But they got to take one game at a time. I think this is a game that they can win. But they got to go into it cleaning up all the stuff that they did wrong in this game against Kansas State. It's just that simple, everybody. So let me go ahead and read some of your statements from the chat room before I end the night show. So let me see. Yeah, Arizona got embarrassed by BYU. You're absolutely right, RYN. Absolutely. We got Big Dog who says, these players are soft. When I played, you did not leave the game unless something was broken because you might lose your position. Interesting. Yeah, things have changed. It's not the same type of football game that you grew up with, everybody. It's different now. It's not the same as how you grew up. I don't expect anything to remain the same. Things do change. We've got C who says, Marie, I did not mean to hurt your feelings, and I'm just wondering why your favorite player, Shiloh, didn't get to start at any unless stop it. Don't come in here with the trolling. Period. Don't start that. Okay, you get no more energy from don't get any energy from don't start that. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense. Talk football. I don't want to hear any talk about why didn't Shiloh start at any other school. I don't want to hear any of that. He ain't playing at those schools. He's playing at CU. Talk CU football. I don't want to hear anything about any other school. Why this or why that? We're talking about what happened tonight and where he is with this football team. Shiloh did not play a good game tonight. He came in rusty. He was hurt. We're not talking about when he was at South Carolina. You bring up one other word about that, and I will block you out of this chat room. Uncle Neely said that Amarion has a broken... Oh, it's broken. Oh, no. God. Oh, no, sister. That's the last thing we need is him to have something. Oh, God. And then we don't know what the status of... What's the status? Pretty Mimi, what is the status of Jimmy Horn? Uncle Nilly said that Amarion has a broken leg and may be out the remainder of the year. Oh. Damn. Everybody put Amarion Miller in your prayers. Give that young man some good thoughts. As it's being reported by Uncle Nilly, if this is facts, that Amarion Miller may have a broken leg and may very well just be out for the remainder of the year. I think what Coach Prime should do, and tell me if you all agree about this, I think Coach Prime should should redshirt him so that he has an extra year of eligibility while he's rehabilitating himself from the injury, the unfortunate injury. I'm not happy that Amarion Miller is out due to this injury. But I think this is a young man. If you agree, put sevens in the chat room. I think he should get a red shirt year. So give him a red shirt this year so that he can heal up and rehabilitate and come back strong next year. And then he'll come back next year as a red shirt sophomore. Not a junior, but a sophomore. I think they need to give him a red shirt. What do you all think? Shouldn't this man be given a red shirt? Give me your opinions in the chat room. If you agree with me, put sevens. Give this young man a red shirt. I'm very put him in your prayers. I feel bad that that's what's happening. Oh my God. Let's see what the sister's saying right now. Good reporting by a sister Pretty Minnie. She says here, Uncle Nearly said that Jimmy may be in concussion protocol or have a soft tissue injury because he was walking around fine in the locker room. So if he's got a concussion, that means he's not going to be alive. I think he's not going to be able to play next week against Arizona. He's going to have to set that game out until he passes through all the concussion protocols. Thank you for this information. I appreciate what you just laid on us, sister. I give you a clap. Wow. How you doing, Angel Eyes? Glad to have you over here tonight. Wow. This is not great news, but this football, these things happen. We got Brandon 1050 put 7 out there. Thank you. Shirley, one of my mods, is in the house. Thank you for coming over and locking in with us tonight. Let me see right here. I'm not putting anything up on the board that a troll is saying at all. Not giving trolls any energy. Let me see. Morris says, why didn't see you? Let me see. Why did not play deep safeties on that 2-minute play? It's obvious that there was going to pass deep. Look, that's like I said on my thumbnail. Paying more attention to the small details or the details. I don't know what the rationale was there. I mean, Robert Livingston is the defensive coordinator. And I got to be honest, Robert Livingston has, since the last game at UCF, he's actually been calling pretty good defensive games so far. But tonight, this one, man, I don't know. It was just hard to swallow what was going on out there in tonight's game. It's just, I don't know what, some of the play calling. I think they play a lot of man-to-man. And this is the thing I have to say to everybody. Do you think they're playing too much man-to-man? I think when teams play against them, especially when they're playing against teams that have dual-threat quarterbacks, should they be mixing their defense up with a little bit of zone, a little bit of man-to-man coverage, disguise it, make it look like you got man-to-man coverage, and then you break into a zone, make it look like you're playing zone coverage, and then you break into a man-to-man? Should they be disguising the coverages a little bit more? Should they be doing some more elaborate things? Because one of the things that I'm noticing is that a lot of these teams are coming in and they realize that CU is playing straight man-to-man. And if you're playing straight man-to-man and you have a scrambling quarterback who's running that option, then obviously when that quarterback runs, you're not going to have anybody underneath to stop him because everybody's in man-to-man unless you're going to have someone spy that quarterback. So there's so many questions that we could bring up here tonight about these issues. But they do play a lot of man-to-man. And sometimes it can catch up with you. Sometimes it can hurt you. Sometimes it can help you playing man-to-man, depending on the matchups and who you're going up against. Avery Johnson made the throws to Josh. Yeah, he made the throws. And I said in my pregame video that this might have been the most talented quarterback that CU has faced as a dual threat quarterback so far this season. And I didn't like when he did Deion Sanders' shuffle dance. I didn't appreciate that at all, y'all. I didn't like that. Okay, Beverly is saying, yes, mix it up more. Yeah, mix up the coverages, disguise coverages, and things of that nature. Big Dog says, Amarion loss. Let me see. Amarion loss going to hurt for sure. Yeah, it's going to hurt. Praying for you and hope you get that red. Yeah, I'm praying for him. Thank you for saying that. I'm praying for him. I think it's no doubt in my mind that Coach Prime has to give this young man a red shirt year right now. And I think it's going to happen because he's going to have to rehabilitate himself. So why not give him a red shirt year right now? Then when he comes back next year, he's a sophomore, not a junior. You give him more. You give him another year to continue to get better, so that now you got him still 3 more years to see him really show what he can do. Because tonight with 145 yards on 8, I think, what did he have? 8 receptions. I thought that was damn good. I thought he showed that he can get down the field deep and catch very acrobatic type catches, which is why he has a broken leg, because he caught that one ball and I guess he came down on his leg. You can see it on a replay how his ankle or something. I thought it was an ankle, but now they're saying that Uncle Nilly is reporting that he has a broken leg or maybe a broken eye. Pray for the young man. I hate that this happened to him. Brandon 1050 says, yes, CU, you cannot be one-dimensional. They need to have different plays run. Yes, I agree. Beverly says this for your sore throat too. No, my throat's not sore. What it is I need to drink some water because my throat was getting kind of dry. I'm not coming down with a cold or anything like that. It's just that, when you're talking, your throat can get dry and then you can get a little bit of a cough. and it just was making my, I can feel a little dryness. That's all, but thank you. Let's see what Shirley has to say. Shirley says, praying for healing, grace in Jesus' name. Amen for Miller. Yes. Prayers. Yes. Most definitely. Let's see what my good sister says here. She says, Uncle Nilly said that I was in a wheelchair. Uncle Nilly said that you were in a wheelchair or he's in a wheelchair. I would imagine that he would be in a wheelchair if he has anything broken on his leg, his ankle or leg. I would imagine. We got Daryl coming in the house, watching from, oh, thank you. Hey, watching from the Philippines. Thank you for watching from the Philippines. That's cool. Let me give you a clap. Watching from the Philippines. Appreciate that. All the way, where you at in the Philippines? Manila, let us know. Angel Eyes is in the house with the 777s. I appreciate that. And everybody, okay, so Amarion Miller is in a wheelchair. Wow. So this is what I'm going to do, everybody. I'm going to definitely look into what's going on with the injured players. What I'll do, because we know that they're going to play a game against Arizona, I'm still going to do a pregame like I always do on Thursdays to talk about Arizona. But I'm going to do another video. Maybe I'll drop a video, if not maybe an uploaded video, or maybe I'll go live, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. Or maybe I should go live on a Tuesday, because now that's the day that Coach Prime usually has his press conferences. But either way, I might want to go live. Maybe I'll do like a vertical video and just do a quick report as to what's going on, what CU in terms of the injuries and all those sort of things, whatever's going on behind the scenes there, if I can. I appreciate you watching tonight so far. And Manila, okay, so you're in Manila. Okay. That's where Muhammad Ali fought when he fought against Joe Foreman back in, 74? No. He fought Joe Frazier in Manila, and Muhammad Ali fought Joe Foreman in Africa, in Zaire. He fought Foreman in Zaire, and he fought, I believe, in the Philippines, he fought against Joe Frazier. Let me get my history correct here. Okay? All right. Here we go. RYN says, yeah, outside I heard it was like 110 degrees. Yeah, he fought outside in Zaire, 110 degrees. That's some hell of weather. And we in that, and that's Africa, so that's real hot. And Philippines gets real hot too as well. Everybody, what I have to do now, because I know it's late for everybody and it's getting late for me, got to get some rest. Wow. Colorado 28, Kansas State 31. Golly. You know, if they could have drove the ball down the field, got midfield somewhere in there and kicked the field goal, they could have put this game into overtime, everybody. There's so many reasons that they could have won this game, even though they had a lot of issues that were hurting them in this game with their play. It's amazing how the mistakes that they made in this game, they still were in a position to win this game. You know why? Because despite the problems that they had in this game, it shows you that CU definitely has a better team, better personnel, and these guys are a little bit more hungrier, just like Coach Prime said. So with that said, everybody, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Tell somebody that you love them. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share this video. I want you to tell somebody that you love them, that you care about them, someone who's close, that you're close to, that you love, that you care about, that you cherish. Tell them that you do care about them, everybody, okay?
Lowe's, Prime Sports Media, Mike Lowe's, Prime Sports Media, Mike Lowe's, Prime Sports Media, Mike Lowe's.
Tell somebody that you love them. Tell somebody that you care about them. And with that said, everybody, we're going to get ready to get on. We're going to get ready to get on out of here. Peace.
Nah, right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there, like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain.
Thank you for listening tonight, everybody. I appreciate you.
Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual.
Once again, everybody, keep Marion Miller. This is another picture of him. Keep him in your prayers. According to the information out there, the sister came in pretty many and said that he's in a wheelchair and looks like he has a broken leg or something that's broken. So that means he's definitely going to be out for the rest of the year, possibly. And I hope they give him a red shirt. Marion Miller, in my opinion, tonight, the numbers that he put up were amazing, which shows me that he can play this game at this level. I think the young man had 8 catches for 145 yards. 51 yards was his biggest catch. That was the catch that he caught that gave them the opportunity to come back in the game or at least have an opportunity to win the game. And that was the 50-yard catch that he caught tonight that ultimately led to his injury and potential being out for the year. And we'll see what's going on. I hope everybody is having enjoy the rest of your early morning, your night, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you all again.
What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah,